Alright, so the other day I had somebody comment on one of my videos that they had tried to break in their flat tappet camshaft in their motor with just some regular off-the-shelf 1030 motor oil, and apparently it ate the cam and wiped out the motor in about 5 minutes worth of time just during the break-in cycle. So I thought I'd share with you guys a little bit about my experience with flat tappet cams, what I've been doing and what's worked good so far. So to begin with, I'm going to talk a little bit about some oils and stuff that I've used or why you want to do that. But basically flat tappet camshaft, still pretty popular among the old cars and stuff, and a lot of you probably still already know this, but your camshaft has the lobes on it, and your flat tappet means your lifter rides just right against each lobe. So if you have like a roller motor, there's literally like a little wheel in here that rolls on the lobes, and they last a lot longer, but this causes a lot of friction here. So newer oils don't have any, they call it ZDDP in it, which is basically a zinc formulation, so you need a high zinc oil. And it more or less kind of makes like a protective film on here. And when you break in a motor, especially the flat tappet cams, you want to use a very high zinc oil initially with your lifters and stuff. They're just much heavier in the zinc ZDDP stuff. And they create a film on here. They call it like a phosphorus glass film or something like that. You could almost say it's kind of like spraying primer on something. It just fills in all the imperfections and defects, and it's really hard coating, I guess, after it sets in there. But the newer oils, because of emissions, don't have that coating or that ZDDP stuff in them. So they're just high in detergent and everything, and it just creates much more higher level of wear. Obviously, I've heard of people doing this, like what that guy did, commented on breaking in a cam and wiping it out just in a few minutes because there's nothing there to really protect it anymore. So right now I'm on my second flat tappet cam in the Nova here, and not because I ruined anything, but just because I wanted to upgrade on the second one. So the first time I actually ran this cam. This is just a stock Chevy 350 cam. Came in a rebuild kit with these lifters, and I changed them out because I had a lifter that was not functioning properly in this set for whatever reason. But this is brand new flat tappet cam, and when I first started this motor to break it in, I bought the Joe Gibbs. I think it was the 1040 oil, and I had to order it off of Summit, their break-in oil. And it wasn't cheap, I think it was like about 10 bucks a quart or so. I ordered it from Summit and everything. But I ran it, that one says to break in the engine. I think it just says to run for like 20 minutes or so. But I had a bunch of issues initially when I tried to start this motor the first time. I had a couple oil leaks and it got pretty hot, so I ran it for like 11 minutes I think the first time, and I had to shut it down because it was kind of getting hot, and then fired it back up, and I think I got 7 minutes out of the next cycle on it, but it definitely got hot, so it wore in there. Seemed to work okay. I mean, having the the lifters and the cam like eat themselves was definitely a concern of mine. So what I did was, after the initial break-in oil, the Joe Gibbs calls for breaking it in for like 20 minutes, like 2,500 RPM. You vary your RPM a little bit, just standard break-in stuff. And then it says to drive the car around for like 400 miles or so. So I did that and everything worked out great. And then I changed my oil out. Right, so I needed to find a high zinc oil for after I changed out the break-in oil. And I looked around online. There was kind of a lot of conversation about different oils and what has the amount of like zinc in it that you need and everything for these flat tappet cams. But this whole time I've been running this Valvoline VR1 racing oil, just in a 1030. I'll kind of show you guys a little bit closer here. I put an X on it because I'm actually using this for some waste oil and stuff, but this is what it is. Valvoline VR1. It says high zinc right on there. So I've been buying this just at my local O'Reilly's. Most of the stores around here have this in like a 2050 for some reason. Couple of them will have like random bottles of the 1030 laying around, and at least one of my stores over here just has cases of the 1030 all the time. They stock it regularly for old hot rod guys and stuff, people with flat tappet cams, motors and all that. So I've been running this oil in it. I ran it on this cam and these lifters initially. I put about 3,000 miles on these, and as you've seen, they're just like barely broken in. So I'll show you guys. This is the original cam I had in here. Hopefully that focuses good, but you can see like it hasn't even hardly worn off the coating on there. They're just barely starting to get shiny, right, and polished looking, all the lobes. And then, you know, these are all the lifters. They're, I mean, none of them are, you know, concaved or domed or worn out. They're still really shiny. They look brand new, honestly, almost. And when I tore the motor apart to upgrade the cam, like, it still looked brand new on the inside. Obviously, these lifters aren't worn. They're still really nice. The cam's real nice still. So that's working for me. On the second cam that I got, it's a comp cam, it's the 280 Magnum. I went ahead and bought, from my O'Reilly store down here, they had some comp break-in oil, so I used that. That one was a little bit different. That one said to break in the motor for 30 minutes with that oil and then just to change it out. So I broke it in, that went really good, ran it for the whole, I think 30 or 35 minutes actually. Went perfectly. I was a little bit concerned on that because I did go to the stiffer Beehive LS6 springs on my Vortec heads. So I was a little concerned about the extra spring pressure maybe causing an issue, but no problems at all. It works great actually. So I changed it out. I just went back to the VR1 again, and everything seems great on it. It has good oil pressure. So I just wanted to run this by you guys. If you're, you know, rebuilding a motor or you've got a flat tappet cam that's new, definitely use, you know, Joe Gibbs or Comp or some kind of actual break-in oil with high zinc or the ZDP additive in it. One other thing I will note is I've seen, like, there's an episode of Gas Monkey Garage where they wiped out a motor in a few minutes doing the same thing, but they used a regular oil and they put the zinc additive in their oil instead of an actual break-in oil, and it actually ate up the motor too. So just using an additive won't necessarily work either. I would just go ahead and get the actual, well, this isn't it, but get actual break-in oil to initially break in your cam, so it'll set that coating on everything and you'll be good. And then the high zinc oils that you run after that will just kind of maintain the coating and help keep down the friction and stuff. So hope this helps someone out, and I'll catch you guys later.